Hello everyone, the December Review here, back again with the recap for the next episode of Little Voice. If you like this video along with the rest of the series, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more. There are just a few episodes left before the grand finale. As always, make sure to head on over to apple.com to check out Apple TV for yourself. They have a great variety of things to watch, and in this day and age of multiple streaming options, Apple is definitely worth a look in my book. They have a free week trial so you can cruise around for a bit. It's a no-brainer for Sarah B fans. I mean, they got Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Tom Hanks, and even Oprah on there, among others. So it's a star-studded affair. It's episode 7, Ghostlight. In many ways, this has been my favorite one so far. We start things off the next morning following the last episode, where Bess's journal was left on the subway. Waking up with a melody in her head, Bess is frantic trying to find the thing as she tears up the apartment. Settling for a dry cleaning receipt, in comes walking Prisha and her family for a quick jolt of humor, and allowing Bess and Prisha to put aside the mean talk from before and get back on track together. We learn Bess has some meetings set up with various record labels and she needs one more song. And away we go. Louis pops in with his friend as they are recording an episode for his new vlog, which centers around Broadway history along Manhattan. An argument develops between the two, resulting in the camera being used getting busted up. We then land back at the Chateau de Storage unit where Bess is writing said new song but is stuck. Enter a man who walks into view to complete a line for her. Turns out this is Ethan's grandfather, so enter Ethan. It's just a quick extra awkward moment to remind us of the video that he put together. Things get cut off due to a Louis phone call where we land back at his place as the care worker there tries to mediate the situation over the vlog and the camera. There's a funny bit about how many views Bess's video has, 17 at that moment. Hey, I know the struggle. Please like and subscribe. Well, sides are taken and the end result is a conversation between the care worker and Bess. She implores Bess that always coming to Louis' aid is not what's best for him, that he needs to figure things out on his own. Feeling a bit of a sting, Bess fires back that she doesn't understand and that it's her brother, and that the next phone call could be something worse. It has been in the past and she won't let him get hurt. It's a poignant moment where both sides are right and the emotions pour through the screen. Things take a very interesting turn for the next 10 minutes or so. We enter a bit of a play within the show. So we're back at the apartment where Bess is struggling to write the next song. She tries everything to clear the slate. From dusting to multiple trips to a Doritos bag, she eventually cracks the case where she has a piano line, only for it to actually be the theme to Friends. It's a pretty funny moment. As a musician and songwriter myself, this moment is painted very well. It captures that block where inspiration or whatever that thing is that brings us a new idea is stuck. It can be very frustrating, but the good news is it can come back as quick as it disappears. I've often found that just walking away and doing something else helps, as does maybe picking up a different instrument. My main muse is the guitar, so even just going from, say, an electric to an acoustic or just a newly stringed electric can trigger the next wave. Sometimes it takes days or weeks, but for Bess it eventually comes back in the form of old wallpaper. Turns out there's a bit of a crack in the wall where she peels back the top layer to expose a single rose that lies beneath. We are whisked away to seemingly what appears to be at first the neighbor's house where two people are getting ready for an evening together. This sparks Bess as she plays the new song as the soundtrack to the events. We are then invited to a wedding where the music continues. We fast forward to the future where our lead of inspiration is making dinner for her family. The husband comes home throwing anger and a bit of chaos into the mix. The wife sits down with Bess as the ending of the song is complete. The imaginations fade and the ghost light is written. This process is an amazing piece within the series. It very much feels like a Broadway play ticking along in Bess's head. The inspiration of it all seems to be Prisha's dilemma for sure, and the song title comes from the argument Louis was having about his vlog. It is all wrapped together as its own full and realized song through Bess's thoughts. It also happens to be a very beautiful song. A+ all around for including this wonderful moment. Jesse Nelson's directing once again shines through. Oh, and through it all, Louie did call her, and she didn't answer the phone. So things roll along to the next day where we go through the process of Bess, Samuel, and Benny performing for multiple record labels in hopes for a contract. They are shot down at each step, but this does give us some funny moments as each executive or assistant they perform for all have their own traits and ways of turning them down. The whole thing is undercut with a pop song on the radio which the lyrics proclaim that dancing is in their lung. It's repeated throughout the string and it's very, very funny. So after the course of being shot down all week, Bess and Sam are left with one last meeting. This time it's the one set up by our sleazy jerk engineer studio dude. So they run through their songs and it appears that the executive is going to give them a shot. But he does not. Mr. Sleazy then comes over to talk to Bess, where she gives him a much needed GTF send-off. Thumbs up for that one. We end the episode with Bess and Samuel walking home discussing the events. You can hear Sarah Bareilles' voice creep through the soundtrack. We pan over to a few homeless people sleeping on the side of the street when the camera settles in on Percy, standing half passed out with a bottle in his hand. Bess immediately runs over to get her dad home, but he shrugs her off, yelling while disappearing into the New York City side streets. Cut to a very emotional Bess as Samuel consoles her and Sarah B. sings us off. So there's a ton going on in this episode. It feels like 2 weeks packed into one, and I mean that in a good way. Things start off well enough, minus the journal, as some of the missteps from the last episode's arguments were smoothed over. We landed into a hopeful phase with the looming record meetings, but were wonderfully engaged with the epic, series-stealing songwriting segment. Again, that whole series of events was just so well put together and acted. It really created an emotional response and, again, shows just how the creative process can work. I'm learning that it's tough to take too much holdover from one week to the next with this series, but for now there are some serious lingering issues with Percy and the first wave of rejection by the studio executives. But Prisha and Sam are back in the good graces, Louis may be learning to fend for himself just a bit, and Ethan is kept on the side once again. Oh, and her video ended up hitting 3,000 views by the end of it all. Hey, let's get this video to that number as well. Well, just kidding. So, only a few episodes left in Season 1. The home stretch is here. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Till next time.